Hi, I'm Sugandha, and I'm a Senior Diversity, Equity and Inclusion Consultant for the Dream Collective. And I'm going to be sharing with you a little bit of an introduction to the concepts of diversity, equity and inclusion. What I find to be really practical and useful when we are trying to understand the concepts of diversity, equity and inclusion is the analogy of having a seat at the table. So diversity, let's start with diversity. Diversity is often defined as the presence of difference within a given setting. So for example, this could be a diversity of species within an ecosystem. It could be the diversity of clothing brands within your closet, or even the diversity of thought or opinion or experiences. In the context of D&I, when we talk about diversity, what we're actually referring to is a diversity of identities. So this is your race, your gender, age, ability, socioeconomic status. And the majority of these characteristics are what we call protected characteristics in anti-discrimination laws and policies. However, these identities can also provide advantages and barriers to opportunities and resources. So in the analogy of having a seat at the table, what this means is having a range of people from a diversity of these identities around this table. So then when we talk about inclusion, what we're talking about is that everyone at this table has a voice and is heard to and listened to. And then equity, it's not the same as equality. Equality means that we are treating everyone the same, while equity acknowledges that not everybody comes from an even level playing field. And therefore, it really is about treating people on an individual level based on their circumstances and their needs. So at the seat of the table analogy, what this means is that everyone is given an equitable opportunity or airtime, or given the right tools in order for them to be able to express themselves. So this could mean that somebody who is soft-spoken is given a microphone in order for them to help be able to speak up, or someone whose language is not English is given a little bit more time to process or prepare their thoughts. Global research on high-performing teams has found that the biggest predictor for high performance, engagement and retention is actually inclusion. So compared to employees who feel excluded, employees who do feel included actually report 42% higher levels of innovation, 46% more discretionary effort, which means going above and beyond, and 31% more higher responsiveness to client or customer needs. So the reality is that D&I is not just a nice to have, it is essential, and its impact on the bottom line is irrefutable. The cost of losing an employee is about 1.5 to 2 times higher than their salary, yet companies with more diverse teams have about 22% lower turnover than those without. Additionally, organizations with more inclusive cultures are twice as likely to meet or exceed financial targets, 3 times likely to be high performing, and 8 times more likely to achieve better business outcomes. This is why D&I should be incorporated as part of your business strategy, regardless of the maturity of your business, the size, the number of employees you have, or even in the industry in which you operate. And on an individual level, what leaders say and do actually make about 70% of the difference to when an individual actually feels included or not. So that leaders have a responsibility to model inclusive behaviors and to foster inclusion within teams.